Picture this. You're parched after a long day, and there's a historic roadside spring bubbling invitingly nearby, seemingly a gift from nature itself. But what if that refreshing sip could lead to a nasty illness? That's the sobering reality Vermont health officials are highlighting right now, urging residents to think twice before turning to these unregulated water sources amid ongoing drought conditions. In Burlington, Vermont, state health experts are sounding the alarm about homeowners resorting to old-fashioned roadside spigots that used to serve entire communities as reliable water supplies. With some wells running dry due to the drought, people are tempted by these natural springs. Yet, the catch is that these sources aren't monitored or treated, making them potentially hazardous for consumption. Experts emphasize that while the water might look clean and appealing, it could harbor harmful contaminants that pose serious health risks. Specifically, health officials point out that these springs might be contaminated with E. coli, a type of bacteria commonly found in fecal matter from animals or humans, which can cause severe gastrointestinal issues like diarrhea, vomiting, and even kidney problems in vulnerable people. Another threat is giardia, a microscopic parasite that thrives in water and can lead to giardiasis, a condition marked by persistent diarrhea, bloating, and fatigue that might last for weeks if untreated. To make this clearer for beginners, think of E. coli as an unwanted bacterial intruder that your body fights off with symptoms that can range from mild discomfort to hospitalization, especially for children, the elderly, or those with weakened immune systems. Giardia, on the other hand, is like a sneaky parasite that hitches a ride in untreated water, causing what doctors call beaver fever, because it's often linked to water sources frequented by wildlife. Vermont health officials strongly advise using this spring water strictly for non-drinking activities, such as flushing toilets or laundering clothes, to avoid any unnecessary exposure. If drinking it is absolutely unavoidable, boiling the water for at least 1 minute can help kill the parasite. They recommend boiling the water vigorously first to kill off potential pathogens. This simple step can deactivate bacteria and parasites, making the water safer. But it's not a foolproof guarantee, since boiling doesn't remove chemical contaminants that might also be present. Tom DeBell, an environmental health engineer at the Vermont Department of Health, puts it bluntly. Many folks have this big misconception that because spring water is natural, it must be inherently safe. But in Vermont, these springs are untreated, untested, and unprotected, so they're far from reliable. It's a reminder that even in picturesque rural areas, modern health standards demand more than just trusting nature. Fortunately, no Vermont residents have reported falling ill from these springs this year, which is a relief. However, just across the border in New Hampshire, health authorities recently confirmed that 15 people contracted giardia after consuming water from a similar roadside spring. This incident serves as a stark warning, illustrating how quickly things can go wrong when people underestimate the risks of unregulated sources. And this is the part most people miss. While droughts push us toward emergency measures, relying on these historic springs could inadvertently spread outbreaks, especially in communities where access to tested water is limited. But here's where it gets controversial. Some might argue that these springs have been used safely for generations, so why the sudden panic? Is it an overreaction from health officials? Or a necessary precaution in an era of climate change and increasing water scarcity? Others might wonder if the government should invest in testing and treating these natural resources rather than outright discouraging their use. After all, in a state like Vermont, known for its pristine outdoors, shouldn't we be harnessing these springs responsibly instead of abandoning them? What do you think? Does the nostalgia of historic water sources outweigh the potential health dangers? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear if you agree with the official stance or if there's a counterpoint we haven't considered. Copyright 2025, WCAX. All rights reserved.